Okay, an update on these trades that I had running for this week. When I last looked, the US index was bouncing around down here. It was just looking to rally. Rallied up on the first set of news last night, and then when the oil figures came out, it's pulled back to create on the daily long week. Could be a bit of a rejection candle depending on how this closes. It's almost closed now. It closes very soon. And then it'd be interesting to see whether this upwards drive out of this consolidation does then consolidate or break down and pull back towards it. I think it is really very possible that we could see a see something like this unfolding. If it breaks this whole consolidation block in here and gets through it, then we can look for a retest of it and a continuation lower. If it bounces off it, then we can look for forms of daily swing low there, then we can look for these highs to be run. If it breaks this down day, last down candle in here, breaks through it, look for a retest back into the middle of it, to the high of it, may retest this level here, and then break down back towards the consolidation. And that's enough to give us some, potentially give us this directional premise for next week. On the other hand, if it just breaks back down to here and rallies higher, then obviously that gives us some premise as well. So that's what it did last night, yesterday. We rallied up, we made a high, and we've pulled back down on that news. On my cable trade, this is that cable trade that I took on Tuesday into this order block level on the news, top of the upper median line, came back down, hit the middle, the median line, and we bounced. We've come off it, we bounced again, we pulled back fairly sharply. You'll hear my thoughts on the video on that. And then it's broken down, ran these lows out, broke through the median line, closed below it. The oil news, the oil numbers came out last night. We rallied off it, dropped back, closed, opened the next bar, and I took the profits off. The thought process on it, it's 150 pips trade for 20 pips risk. 7 to 1 risk reward. You can't go much past that. It keeps on wicking back through this median line. I felt it might come back through it, bounce back up and come back up to the upper line of the median line, back up, run this high into this order block. If the US yen was going to form this type of day and then potentially pull back, then it's going to form potentially a doji here, which we may get after a couple of large range weeks, then get a doji, a bit like this, 3 large range weeks, and then we get a doji week. We may get that type of week here. You can't be greedy when you're trading these things. And this more than met my targets for the week. It makes it a very profitable week. So for me to hold on to more than that I was only going to be doing it for the purpose of the exercise, not for the it didn't feel like the right way to trade it, basically. The euro short from up in here, similar type of trade, all based off the US index, forming this reversal in here. As euro mirrored that short there, stop was up here. So slightly larger stop, it was 30 pip stop, and it hit my take profit down here. For pretty much exactly 100 pips, 102 pips, 30 pips risk, 3 to 1 risk reward. Bit of a double top in here. Yeah, she failed to break these highs. The cable had run the highs. Euro had failed to break the highs. There was some divergence in there. Uptrend. And it looked very much like manipulation, with this cable having news on it at the time. This was manipulation, running out the stops above these highs into a previous supply zone, if you want to call it that, order block supply level here. And potentially triggering trend reversal, break of this trend line, traders long as well. So manipulation, USDX and Euro didn't show signs of that manipulation, so shorted into that, and it's paid off handsomely. Euro Yen came down, hit my take profit. That was a short as we rallied up in here. Stops on that were up here. It was about 36 pips risk, 180 pip profit. Really nice trade. Did come down, came back up, retested, did the stop run reversal setup. Could have re-entered on this. There you got a short-term swing high against the trend. It runs it, rejects it, comes back, retests it, and then you get the parabolic fall away. So I sat through all this mark until it sort of fell away. So it's 180 pips on the GBP JPY, 150 on the GBP USD, and 100 pips on the Euro, which is 230, 330, 430 pips for the week. US Yen, I took 2 losses on this. I took a loss in here, I went long, I went short in here. It came back up and stopped me out. It stops above here. And then it came back up again, and I entered another half a position lot size here. Trying to follow these rules. Now, technically, if I had followed the rules, I'd actually be running in profit right now. So this is a bit of a lesson. I had short at 111.20. I did that. I went short at 111.20. Stop loss at 111.50. I didn't do that. I had my stop loss at 111.42. And it closed it at it, but it would never have hit 111.50. So if I'd had 111.50, this would also be running in profit. I'm not going to re-enter it. I'm going to let it go. I've had 2 attempts to get in it. That's all I'm going to take. If you do more than that, then your risk reward is no longer as profitable, and you're really just chasing price. If you mismanage your trade, you're going to learn from it and move on and go again. Follow my rules next time. Stop loss at 111.50. To allow for a bit of this wicking through. And the reason I initially said stop loss at 111.50 was it was the institutional level above 111.20 and above the level of resistance. It lines up with these as well, but you got resistance here as well. So really I wanted just a wick into this order block breakdown, but you don't always get that in price. So you've got to give your trades room to breathe, especially on a 4-hourly basis. So it was a little bit too aggressive, that stop. It whipped up, it stopped me out right on the top, and we're now breaking down. If if I'd followed the rules, I'd be up currently 63 pips on this trade as well. And you know, you could now trail stops to break even and let it roll and see if you're going to get a nice another 180 pip press on this. I suppose I got 180 pip drive on the pound yen, so it wasn't one I was looking for at the start of the week. So I missed out on potentially on the 200 pip run on the US yen if it keeps going. Analysis at the start of the week, I think, is still showing that it was good analysis. I got caught out on this breakdown, open, breakdown, close. I was then looking for an immediate drop. You don't always get that. It comes back up. Gave the entry that I selected in my analysis. Now we'll just wait and see whether it gives me the take profit. And if it does, I guess it's just a tick for the analysis, not necessarily. Which shows sometimes you can mismanage it, but I've done okay. Even if the cable drops from here and runs down to my weekly objective, I still think the reasons for getting out were solid. I still think my analysis here on the US index, you know, it's going to close for the day, depending on how it opens, you know, the next day. When the market opens, it could be bullish, could be bearish. If it drops down and it breaks back through this 96.40 level, and comes back down through sort of below 96 big figure to 95s, then we're going to look for a retest, you know, around 95.20, and then a breakdown towards 95 big figure. Sorry, a retest to 96.20 and a breakdown towards a 95 big figure. So there you have it. That's the outcome on the cable trade. On all the trades so far for this week, and we have just pulled back up into this resistance really. So a rollover from here is possible, and we may just drop, form a swing low and rally back through, retest the upper median line. Going into Thursday, I think I've captured a 150 pip swing from potentially the high of the week down in the middle, and if you can do that consistently, you're going to be pretty profitable. I hope this maybe gives some inspiration, shows what can be done with high reward to risk, trading, and details also some of the thought processes going through the trade as it was unfolding, some of my mental demons that I was battling as it was chopping around in here. I'll try and include those and just try and be as raw as possible and show you what trading is like. It's all very easy to look at it in the after effect. So I shorted here and took my profits down here, but as it's playing out, you're not necessarily that confident, and you're looking at it and you're constantly looking at both sides of the story. Is it just going to bounce off the median line, retest here? Is it going to do this? Is it going to do that? That's all a part of the trading. It's the mental discipline that's required if you're going to trade manually, and it's highly rewarding when it does work out. Over the past 2 weeks, I've made I took losses in both June and July this year, and I lost about 500 pips a month. And in the past 2 weeks, I've made 1,100 pips. So I've made back 2 months worth of losses in 2 weeks, and that's what can happen when anything lines up. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully it's helpful, and we'll catch you later.